Yo, it's D.Arthur in the building. Talking to you guys today about why semen retention frightens the modern day woman. And why semen retention will help you become your true and destined self. And how you'll attract any type
Stay in the middle 3 lanes.
And how you'll attract any type of woman that you really want while you're on retention. Now, semen retention frightens the modern day woman and let's say the modern day man because once you're on semen retention, and once you've also been, let's say, working out and taking care of yourself, eating the right foods, having enough sleep, meditating, and doing things that are good for your soul and your body and your mind, and you have a deep sense of self, that's very intimidating to people in general, because not many people are like that. They like to have a fabricated way of existing. They have to have a fake way of existing, not a real way of existing. They like to let other people make the decisions for them. They like to let the media control their opinions. They like to let fear control their decisions. They like to let everything that's not them control their decisions. They're depending on an external force to save them. They think they are separate from the Most High. They think they are not who they think they put limitations on themselves. And once you go on semen retention, you realize that all of this is fake. It's not the truth. To the visible eye, it may look like the truth. To the shallow mind, it may look like the truth. But to the woke mind and the semen retention body, you realize that there's a lot more, that this life is a lot deeper than at first thought, and you have a lot more power to do really what you really want to do. And this sense of new self, this insight, this person that you're becoming is very intimidating to shallow people. It's intimidating to women because they're not really too let's say comfortable with a man who isn't let's say doesn't sway their opinions because of lust. They realize that a man who has a deep sense of self and knows his worth is probably the most intimidating thing ever, because they can't use sexual manipulation to get what they want. They have to think of something else. And this is pretty much what it comes down to. Now, when you're on semen retention, you realize that since you're becoming, let's say, your true self, you realize that everything that you want is really on the other side of fear and effort. Once you become fearless, everything is naturally for you, because people like to make excuses onto why they can't do things, and they make stories up onto why they can't live a certain way of life or why they can't accomplish certain things. But when you're on semen retention, you become fearless, and being fearless is probably the number one attraction signal. When the next time you're with a woman, tell her that you're not scared of anything and that you're fearless. And this is very attractive, because a man who's fearless can conquer anything. He can conquer fate. He can get what he wants from life. And this is what we like to call a non-drifter. A man who has a clear and definite purpose and is working every day to acquire the thing that he really wants. And he doesn't let fear, he doesn't let the media, he doesn't let society, he doesn't put limitations on himself. This is what we like to call a 1% man, because a 1% man is the one who doesn't think like the rest. He thinks for himself, and he has his own type of mind. And he makes his actions, and he dictates his actions
in
based
1
on
mile.
his,
Keep
on,
left to merge
on his
onto
real
I-95
decides
South.
on his real wants. Now, this is like what I said. This becomes very intimidating to some certain type of women, because they're not used to this. They're used to guys simping. They're used to guys kissing their feet. They're used to guys taking whatever they can get. But a man who can control his sexual urges and is not thrown off by a woman's, let's say, beauty, is really, let's say, a significant man, and he can get what he wants. So go on semen retention. We've been preaching this. When you retain for a longer time, you realize that all the lust that you really have,
stay in the right 2 lanes.
There sometimes, but at certain times, it just seems to just kind of disappear and is gone, or is suppressed for some reason. It's weird. You might start noticing that it might take you a lot more to, let's say, turn you to turn you on instead of just relapsing, because now you realize, since your value and your retention is so worthy, you realize that there can be a lot more. It takes a lot
Keep
more.
Keep left to merge onto I-95 South.
Dopamine in your brain to get you really excited about something, because the mundane things that used to turn you on the most, they're not really that satisfying anymore. You start realizing that you need more. You need more. You need more depth. You need more knowledge of something. You need more awareness. Shallow things don't really turn you on that as much. Your subconscious starts communicating with other people's subconscious about things, about intellectual things, and things that stimulate the spirit and the mind, instead of just the fabricated lust of the body. So yeah, I mean, you become a lot less turned on just by shallow things, and you start needing a little bit more from other people to coexist with them, because when people try to get near you and try to get closer to you, and try to get you to like them, it takes more from them to do things for you, so you can actually be happy and you can actually be, let's say, turned on. Because when you're on a longer day of semen retention, like I said, all the other things that you used to like, they don't really stimulate you as much. It might be a plateau, it might be a placebo or something. It just seems like you need more from other people to get, let's say, a high from life. And once you retain, a lot of people, the thing is, when you retain, your extra energy has to go somewhere.
In 3.8 miles, take the exit toward Potomac Mill.
So if you're on retention and you don't go to the gym, at some point in your life, you're probably going to relapse. Because that extra energy has to go somewhere. There has to be some energy that transmutes through your body, and you have to do something with the extra energy, or it's going to be stored up somewhere, and you're going to relapse. So, I mean, if you're on semen retention, make sure that you're utilizing physical activity, you're stimulating your mind, you're stimulating your spirit, and you're creating a significant and deep life that's actually significant and not a clone of the next one. yeah, you'll become your true self. The modern woman, you'll probably intimidate the modern woman because you're not easily hooked like other men. You're not easily as hooked. It's gonna take a little bit more from somebody else for you to actually like them, because you're not like the 99% of guys who all they need to do is, all a woman has to do is show off their sexual things, and then that's how they get hooked. But when you're on retention, you need a little bit more from somebody else. You need some emotional stimulation. You need some intelligence. You need a woke sense of self to have people to be attracted to other people. So the modern woman gets intimidated by a man who's on semen retention and a man who's finding his purpose. And 95% of men are going to take whatever they want, or take whatever they can get. But that 1% of men who's on retention for a while and finding his purpose, is going to take a lot more from them to be attracted to somebody else. So like, comment, and subscribe below, and we'll see you in the next video.